Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Matchbook Horse Racing Podcast. We've got Group 1 action to preview this weekend. We've got the richest black race in Europe to preview. We'll get to that. That is the Qatar Prix de l'Arc, the Triomphe. We'll get to that at the end of this podcast. We kick off with TV Saturday action, and we're going to start with the Sun Chariot there at Newmarket, another Group 1, and some pretty open handicaps to preview as well, with Steve Jones and Charlie Poste. Welcome along to both of you. A reminder for those of you watching and listening to like, follow and subscribe however you are taking in this podcast. It is the best no-cost way of supporting our content through all of our podcasts and all of our platforms on Matchbook. So please do that if you do like it. Use the bonus code POD50 if you'd like a 50 quid free bet. Simple as that. POD50, you bet 50, you get 50 in free bets. The T's and C's are on the website. And I'll remind you, when we get to our treble of the £5 money back as a free bet, best bet treble, you've got to use the horses that we pick. If they all cop, you get a big payout. If they don't, you get your £5 back. Simple as that. So why not? Right, Sun Chariot. We'll let Sensible Steve kick off because his is the more sensible selection. And then somehow Charlie and I have arrived at a silly one, but we'll get to that. Steve, welcome. Take it away.
Yeah, it's a little bit surprising because I thought you were certain to go for Cinderella's Dream because it's a Godolphin horse and trained by Charlie Appleby. But I wanted to take on Cinderella's Dream because I'm a bit worried about the rain that's around. It's due to rain all day today and into the night. And I don't think it's going to be good to firm. And I'd be very worried about Cinderella's Dream being as good as she's shown so far on the much quicker ground. And Fallen Angel, for me, is just very, very solid. Handles a bit of cut in the ground. It's won Group 1s on her last 2 starts. And in fact, the first of those at Deauville in the Prix Rothschild, that it's virtually the same race that Cinderella's Dream won, the Falmouth Stakes at Newmarket, because Fallen Angel beat January and Crimson Advocate was further back with the 2 horses that was beaten in the Falmouth. So that form matches up to Cinderella's Dream. And then at Leopardstown, went over. Colbert sent Fallen Angel over to Leopardstown for the Matron Stakes. And again, just a really likeable, straightforward game victory in a similar sort of race. So she brings Group 1 form to the table. She'll handle the conditions. She's very solid and she'll run a race. And I think that'll be good enough to win.
Just on Cinderella's Dream, do you know, it's not necessarily that if it was going to stay quick ground, and I think the Newmarket dries really quickly, by the way. There's every chance, even if they start on good, by the end of racing, if there's a bit of wind and it's 17, 18 degrees, it'd be good to firm. But
it doesn't dry very well when it's raining, though. That's one thing it doesn't do.
It's not going to be raining come the afternoon tomorrow. It's going to rain overnight. But, I don't trust her. Like, do you know what I mean? I think, you know, she's obviously good here. I don't know. It just wasn't Charlie a race that I wanted to play at the top of the market. So I thought I'd try and be a bit clever and side with something that was behind Fallen Angel last time. And I can see, you know, improving for an extra furlong. And I thought Cathedral ran pretty well last time. I quite like Donica's as well, that I put up at a big price to get in the frame last time, and that happened. But she's a hold-up type, and that worries me. And I particularly on this course, Cathedral beyond the speed, and I can see her in the 3, so that's how I wanted to play it.
Yeah, I'm in agreement completely. As in, I agree with Steve as well. I think Fallen Angel is very, very solid, and if you like Fallen Angel, I'm not going to put anyone off backing her. But as you say, I just was looking, and Cathedral is nearly 7 times the price. It was 21.0 when I was going through this, and first start for Kevin Phillip Part the Foy was a very good one in the matron behind her. I hope she gets a really positive ride tomorrow. And also, she's versatile. She's got form on slow ground as well, if we do get the forecast overnight rain. And I'm just not sure Fallen Angel is that much better than the rest of these to be wading in at the price she is. And therefore, I wanted to go for something that gave me a bit more value.
Simple as that. That's what I wanted to do as well. That's what we've done with Cathedral. Steve likes Fallen Angel. Right, we're going back to the start of the card. We'll do it in, because we've got 3 different tracks, we'll do it in track order. So we'll do the rest of Newmarket now, going back to the 130. Just you, Charlie Poste, with this fillies handicap. Steve and I are sitting it out, all yours.
Yeah, I mean, probably the incredibly sensible call because it's very trappy. I'm just going to go with the horse at the top of the market, Morafor 3.0. She's got a good pedigree. She's very lightly raced. I mean, on her penultimate start, there were little signs of temperament, but not last time. And she ran out a ready winner in May at Ascot. And that was a good while ago. And the fact that they persevered suggests that they think there is more upside with a filly. But I think she's by Kingman. You know, there's no real reason to be carrying on now. She's won a couple of races. This looks winnable. She's £10 higher, but she didn't half hit the line strong at Ascot. And if she turns up in that vein of form, I think she could prove better than these. And she might be a horse that has black type aspirations beyond this.
All right, that's the fillies handicap at the start of the day at Newmarket. We go to the auction stakes now. Again, no thanks, but you are being brave, Steve. I guess the thing about this race is you're likely to find one at a bigger price, which you have, Rosa and Glazer.
Yeah, I think there's a few interesting at bigger prices with all these runners, and mostly inexperienced runners. I don't really want to get involved in things at the top of the market that look fairly short to me. And Rosa Inglesia is off bottom weight. This is a sales race, so they're weighted on what they went through the ring at. And Rosa Inglesia went through quite cheaply, and she made a really good start to her career, went second to another of today's runners or Saturday's runners, Calori Forever. Went second at Yarmouth, looking like she would improve a fair bit for that. And it was a very straightforward win at Chelmsford next time. It's hard to pin down how good she is, but I think with her profile, she should never be, 26 or something around there. And so I'm just going to chance a few quid on Rosa Inglesia for Charlie Fellows, who had a terrible start to the season, but his horses are running really well at the moment.
They're in very thick. That's Rosa Inglesia at 26.0 in the auction stakes 205. October stakes is the 115 Ascot, so we'll kick on with Ascot now. I'll come back to you, Charlie. Then first of all, we've got 3 different horses going up at the 115 at Ascot.
Yeah, and I mean, and rightly so. It's a competitive contest, this, and you can make cases for quite a lot of them. I don't think there's a whole heap between them. 3-year-olds taking on the older ones. I ended up with Dubai Treasure for Saeed bin Saror. Again, big price, 19.0. Had a very progressive season. She won handicaps off 85 and 95. Didn't really fire last time in Patton Company. But she missed the break. She's a positive racer and never really got going over 6. She has won over that trip at Goodwood, but she's back up to 7, which I think is better. Saeed bin Saror is going well. I think this week, things have changed a lot for him. He said, give him a Group 3 or Group 2 horse and he'll win you a Group 1. I just want him to take a handicapper and make her a listed winner in this. So, yeah, Dubai Treasure for me.
Steve, who are you with?
Well, if you go back 12 months, Sunfall won this race on soft ground at 18-1. She was trained by William Haggis that day. She's now switched to David O'Mara. She's had 2 runs for David O'Mara, and there's been excuses for both of them. She's caught very wide on her first start at Epsom on Derby Day in the Group 3 Princess Elizabeth. And then last time at Doncaster on the back of a 3-month break. She was just ridden very patiently, far more patiently than usual, and far more patiently than she was when winning this race 12 months ago. She's 18 or 21, something like that, around again. And that just is a crazy price for a horse that we know can win this race because she won it last year. And if she's ridden more prominently, which I suspect she will be, then I think she's got a really good chance of going back-to-back. So Sunfall is my fancy.
I'm going to chance Nadra at 9.0. I've got a bit of a soft spot for her because I backed her at Newmarket on reappearance when she was a little bit disappointing. She proved prior to that her want for a little bit of cut in the ground, which there was at Newmarket, although not quite like there was at Haydock when she'd won on debut. Obviously, she caught the eye because she was a Haggis filly that won at the well-supported nearly 2.0 on debut. So when that happens, you know they're likely to be pretty good. But it hasn't worked out since then. She was given a break, and then I just convinced that the ground was to blame for the performance at Leicester, which was very disappointing. I guess off a mark of 94, they could have looked at a handicap. Maybe there weren't too many options. She lines up here with a little bit to find, sure, but she's just a bit forgotten, I think, based upon the profile she came into the season with. And she's going to be dealing with the rain that's around with a little bit of ease in the ground. I think this will suit her as well. I think over 7 here, based on how she was ridden at Newmarket and how she was slowly away on debut. They tried to make use for it at Leicester last time because she was a warm order, and I think they just didn't want to complicate things, but she was disappointing. She'll get more of a sort of proper race to suit her, I think, here. And she's 9.0. I think she should be a little bit better than the mark she lines up of, but of course it's a listed race and she's got a little bit of fine. But it's a win and place shout for Naja for me in that. We move on to the Rouse Stakes. 2 different horses going up. Charlie, you can kick us off with the favourite.
Yeah, Beautiful Diamond for me. I mean, she looked better than ever last time. In fact, on the figures, I think it was a career best there. She absolutely routed them. I mean, you do have to factor in she does relish air. I think she's unbeaten up there. But she also relishes slow ground. And as we've already discussed, there's a lot of rain about. And I think given her conditions, she's not far off top class. You know, she ran very well behind some real top notches, the likes of Bradsell and Believing in the past. Carl Burke has had an unbelievable year again. Yes, she has to shoulder a penalty, but I think with conditions in her favour, she could just end up being a lot better than these. And I think 3.5 is actually attractive, really attractive, given the underfoot conditions and the form she's in.
Are you working on? Just are you working on it to be soft ground? Do you think come race?
I think so. Yeah, I do. I mean, I think there could be plenty of rain about. You know, I mean, granted, it's not cold at the moment, but it certainly isn't going to dry out significantly, especially more at Ascot than maybe Newmarket. So yeah, I'm going on certainly good to soft, and I think that'll be more than enough for this filly to kind of show a latent class that she has.
I like course and distance form on the straight course at Ascot for obvious reasons. Cover up style suits it absolutely perfectly. We saw that a couple of starts ago when he would have won further, but I suppose that's you're taking that into account given his run style. Last time ran okay in the Group 3, but this a stiffer test is always going to be this horse's bag, and I thought it was a slightly bigger price than I expected. If I'm honest, rated 102 now. I would put him just behind Beautiful Diamond. So I think he's a nice horse who could continue having a good time with it if he goes back out to the Middle East as well. So cover up for me. We move on to the Cumberland Lodge. Nothing for me. You two with Hamish. Take it away, one of you. Don't mind who.
Well, the ground is going to come for Hamish. Loves soft ground and has just got a sensational record. If you go back, the last time Hamish was beaten in a Group 3 race on turf was 3 years ago. And that was, I think, the only time that he's been beaten at this, and that was by a head. So at this sort of level, he's absolutely sensational. It was only last season at the Derby meeting, he was a runner-up in the Group 1, the Coronation Cup. So he's just a very, very good horse. He's been around for years. He loves soft ground, and I'm amazed he's the price he is, because I think he'll go off nearer to sort of 2.25, something like that.
Charlie?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with everything Steve said. You know, they're 2 fantastic horses, though, aren't they? First and foremost, him and Al Kareem. They won the last 3 run-ins of this between them. He gets a £3 pull off Al Kareem. Hamish does, and with the conditions coming for him, I think that's enough to tip the balance marginally in his favour. And like Steve says, I think he's an attractive price in what I think is between the 2 of them. But I love the way that, you know, typically of the Haggis Yard, he's been campaigned. He's an incredible horse. And I'm really looking forward to this race. And yeah, Hamish is a strong selection for me within that.
All right, Hamish, the old boy, in Well, it's a good renewal of the Cumberland Lodge, but some of the regular sorts lining up in that, and Hamish is one of those. 3.0 currently. Boys think he's going to go off a little bit shorter. The Bengoff next, 3 o'clock. And Charlie, I'll come to you because I think this is your price selection for the day. Take it away.
Yeah, Run Boy Run in this Group 3, and he's been he's had an unbelievable campaign. You know, ran in all the big sprints, and he got his deserved one at Ayr recently. I'm not sure. I think everyone would agree. There's not a whole heap between group class sprinters and top class handicappers over the sprint distances. And I just thought a 15.0, he's just really interesting because in the form of his life, he's going to go forward. I mean, Quinault is a slight worry being drawn close to him. But the one thing about, again, this lad, he does stay further. You know, he ran behind Never So Brave at the Royal meeting. He goes on slow ground, and 15.0, you can back him, win and place if you want to. Yeah, I think he's another interesting one. And for me, again, working on the fact that we got slow ground, which was my starting point for the selections at Ascot.
3 o'clock for me. You will see that I had Tuco Salamanca in there, and I was all ready to make a case for the fact that, you know, horses stepping up from handicap company into group company on the straight course at Ascot. Don't worry about their ratings; it can really suit. But he's declared today, so I'm going to back him today at a much shorter price in a handicap. Obviously, if I was going to back him, the Bengoff. But I've got a history with this horse, which goes back to Newcastle when he was a massive price, and somehow he didn't win. Frankly, he should have done. I thought I think I put him up in the 20s. He went off at 15.0, and he managed to get fourth, and he should have won. He has won a couple of times since, and last time he didn't get the race run to suit, but that is always the way with him. But this Ascot is his bag. So look, he's lining up in a course and distance handicap today. I'll come to that. But for me, it was between him and Prince of India, and I do like Prince of India. He's a course and distance winner. That's why I prefer him as well. Monjed. Jamie Spencer is a master on the straight course at Ascot. He's a course and distance winner. And I guess the only thing is the stall's a stand side and he's going to need an out. But Spencer's pretty good at that. I thought he should be a clear favourite personally, Prince of India. 3 odds got a decent record in this. So Prince of India, for me, he is the shortest of all the horses I'm putting up today. I think 5.5 Prince of India. Steve.
Yeah, I fancied Tuco Salamanca as well, but Ollie Sangster's horses are in desperate form, so I'm quite pleased he's running today because I dare say he would have got sunk without trace, and I'd have fancied him tomorrow. But I do fancy Jabara. I think she's very interesting, dropped in distance. She's been running over 7 furlongs mostly this year. In fact, she ran over a mile in a Group 1 in the spring in America, and she travels very, very well through a race. And I don't think it's a surprise that her listed win came at Musselburgh, quite a sharp track. She ran very well in the Group 3 Oak Tree Stakes at Glorious Goodwood when she was just behind Bright Thunder and a few others, despite getting no run at all. I thought that was the performance of a horse that was still in form. She ran well on softer ground at Doncaster over 7. Up down to 6 with Quinault on her side. It'll set a really strong gallop. I think there's a lot of pace in here. And Sylvester de Souza, who's riding particularly well at the moment, if he can just take a lead off there on the stand side. And Jabara's got first time cheek pieces on as well to help. So I think she's definitely got a chance at 17.
And then a really good betting race is the Challenge Cup. That's the 335. I'll kick off with a horse who, again, loves it here. Hostage to Fortune, just massively out of form. Like, he's come into this season like he's got 3 legs. But I'm sort of willing to have a go back at this course and distance. Now, previous course winner over a mile on soft. He drops back to the 7 isn't the problem. The problem is 12 lengths last of 8 at Chester. and 16 lengths last of 8 at Goodwood. But why are they running him there? Like that is never going to be this horse's bag. He was off it and out of it at Chester, and then so too at Goodwood. We're never getting an out. So look, if he'd come here and finish last, then fine. I don't want to let him go off at 21.0, even bigger, 26.0, and not having back at Ascot with a bit of cut in the ground, because that when he was when he was seen to best effect at the back end of last year. And I dodged him that day because he was a horse that was it's basically a hangover, but I was backing him and he was getting unlucky. So back here, I have to have him on side, because you can definitely see it if you're willing to forgive 2 poor runs at tracks which are never going to suit his run style. Carry the one. Charlie.
I can see carry the one. I was very close to putting him up myself, and I'll probably have a couple of quid on him because of the price. But
he ultimately probably finished last, probably
for sure. But I can see the angle. So I mean, which, like you say, probably means he'll finish last. But I will back you, mate. Don't worry. So Tarkan, though, for me, for my main selection, his last few runs for Jamie Osborne have suggested his time is getting near. You know, he ran very well at Newbury, was very positively ridden and stuck on really well when he kind of looked like he might be swallowed up, but was only just chinned. Before that, he'd run well at Ascot with the cheek piece on for the first time behind Native Warrior. Now, Native Warrior looked very good on that occasion, but he has got Tarkan has got a £9 swing, which may or may not be enough, but it's going to make it closer, definitely. And again, the big thing for him, he had a lot of soft ground form when he was trained in Germany before switching over to the Jamie Osborne yard. And the more conditions deteriorate, the more I think it'll be in his favour. And again, hopefully he'll get a positive ride on the front end.
Stephen.
Yeah, the market is dominated by Native Warrior and Great Acclaim, but Mirabeau was only just behind those. And I thought, even though it was soft in that race early last month, I thought that even softer ground would suit Mirabeau, and that's very much in line with his profile. He won on very soft ground at the back end of last season, September and October, and he is a horse who I think is ready to strike at this time of year when he gets his conditions. And in a race like this, it should suit perfectly. He's slightly better off at the weights with the other two, and he's only a 3-year-old, and I do think there's still improvement in him, and I think he given the rub of the green, he might improve past Native Warrior and Great Acclaim. So Mirabeau, who what we're talking price wise, 15 at the moment, I think is a very fair bet.
Any other bets? I'm going to stick up 2 for today, which are Tuco Salamanca, because if I was going to back him in the Bengoff, I've got to back him in a handicap. I hadn't factored in the yard form. You've got me a bit concerned. I mean, I haven't checked, Steve, to whether you're talking rubbish, but I trust you. But I've got to back him in a handicap. The other one is Arabian Force in the previous race. The niggling concern would be he's won twice on quick ground. So whether he wants soft, I don't know. What he definitely wants is a step up in trip. I followed him this year. I think he's really good, and I think he just needs the trip to unlock that. And so I'm going to back those 2 today and probably double them up as well.
Can our producer clip that up? Say you trust me. Is that okay? Just so we've got it on the record.
No, that would make me unhappy. Charlie, who's yours? Got one at Uttoxeter, of course.
Yeah, 33 days without a winner for Ollie Sangster.
All right. How many runners has he had? What prices have they been?
Well, we need greater research. I'll come back to you on that.
I think he was 0 from 27 in September. So
29 runners since a winner.
Well, I need a bit of meat on those bones, but that's fine. Basically, we're up shit creek without paddles. What you're telling me?
Well,
yeah. Okay, cool. That's fine.
But yes, for me, Sunday, Uttoxeter 248, a horse called Chuggy. makes his chase debut for Dan Skelton after a handful of runs over hurdles. He is the new Lions half-brother and Katira, so top-class pedigree. Things haven't really fired from that thus far. A real big horse, but schooling's gone well. Starts life, like I say, I think of a mark of 100. He's definitely better than that, and I think he's probably one at a low level to put in the notebook to follow early in this jump season.
Matchbook Zero long shot time. Market goes live an hour before each race. There's zero margin, zero commission, so you're enhancing your chances of getting best odds. You're most likely to. I can't say you definitely will because I'm not allowed to, but probably will. Carry the one for me in the 335 26.0, the Challenge Cup. Steve.
Yeah, Sunfall won the 115 Ascot last year and hopefully win it again.
Charlie.
Run Boy Run in the Group 3, the 6 furlong sprint at Ascot.
All right, best bets. I was going to go for Charlie's race, but we're going different races. So I've gone with Prince of India as the shortest price I'm putting up, 5.5. Steve?
Fallen Angel to win another Group 1 in the Sun Chariot.
Charlie?
Beautiful diamond in the 150 at Ascot.
Put all those three in a treble on Matchbook and put a fiver on it. If it doesn't win, you get your fiver back. It's a bet to nothing. If it does win at those prices, 5.5, 3.75, 3.5, you do very well out of it. Right, the Arc, Longchamp, Sunday, pretty like the Triomphe. Big fields going forward for this, which is what you traditionally expect, sure. A strange notable one coming out of that. So what we left with 17. But there's I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. It's not a race I want to be taking one right at the top of the market in. I think you just want to have a few arrows at bigger prices on side. Mini Hawk is going to be an obvious one because she's a 3-year-old getting the allowances. 3-year-old filly getting all those allowances, but then four 3-year-old fillies have won it in the last 30 years. Trev, Enable, Dame Dream, and Zakava. Like, is she in that bracket? I mean, not a minute for me right now. So, and the other one up there was beaten last year, Aventure, who's got a great chance, sure. But Steve, I think you can have an arrow at Summit prices because it's that sort of race. You can make a case for absolutely loads of them. Who would you like to make a case for?
Yeah, I think it's always the case, or most years in the Arc, because it's that kind of championship contest. Sosi is interesting for me if there's enough rain, which they suggest that there's going to be rain today in Paris and into tomorrow. And Sosi was 4th last year, but trained by the master of the Arc, Andre Fabre, who's a proper trainer. He gets them to progress from 3 to 4, and that looks the case with Sosi. The only disappointing run was on very fast ground in the Eclipse when conditions just didn't suit, and bounced back for that. At Longchamp last time, a runner-up to one of the Japanese raiders, Byzantine Dream. But that looked to me like Sosi was having a proper Arc trial in that race and would step forward for it. And Sosi's got drawn 3, and Byzantine Dream is drawn 15, and that is massive. And so Sosi for another Andre Fabre Arc for me, biggest price for a horse with a lot of ability.
Charlie Post.
Yeah, I mean, you said you've got to go for one at a bigger price, so I've gone for the favourite. I think Aventure will win this. Second last year, as you said, to Blue Stocking. Won the Vermeer last time and won well. Second to Calandagan earlier in the year, and I think if Calandagan was able to run in this, he'd be a short price favourite. So yeah, I think Aventure. I don't really get excited about this race this year personally, but yeah, I'll take Aventure to win it. I can see your angle that you're going to come onto Los Angeles with the first time cheap pieces. If I was going to have a dart at a bigger price,
for what it's worth, I was all set before I pulled the race up again this morning to put up Aventure. So, like, genuinely, I when they were joint favourites, her and Mini Hawk, kind of mad, right? That you've got a filly that's won 4 Oaks this year, unbeaten this year, and yet she's possibly not going to go off favourite. It kind of is mad, but Aidan O'Brien, for whatever reason, doesn't take this race out for fun. So yeah, I think Aventure is the most likely of those towards the top. Definitely should just be okay in 12. But the two I want to have on board are Steve will love this. Alohi Ali, the Japanese raider. We had a good debate about this. One of them in the Racing TV studio recently, as he pointed out that the Japanese don't win anything in Europe. It's just fair enough, but. Workings are as follows. I was going to put up Qualificar because the Ordinary Farm angle, and he would have won one of the key trials a lot further last time with an out. And then I went back to Alohi Ali's run where he absolutely smashed him up in the Pre-Game Donano, traditionally a good race. I mean, he hardly came off the bridle on soft ground. All right, probably wasn't soft ground because it's France soft, but I'm expecting it to be good ground, to be honest, which will be absolutely fine. I like the angle there as a Japanese raider that he's been there for a while, because I think that's important. I think you want to do one or the other, stay there for a while or fly in and out. And the horse is 19.0. I do think that's too big. I think he's got a much better chance than that, but he's had 50 days off and he's just not the sexy Japanese one. But I definitely want him on side. And then who's got the best back form in the race? Los Angeles. But the trouble is, he's looked a bit of a busted flush the last couple of starts. Actually, that started at Ascot. But otherwise, the defeat of White Birch and Ammark prior to that, I mean, that stacks up massively. Finished third last year when, running in behind Aventure and Blue Stocking. The cheap pieces aren't going to hurt, are they? So it just, like a horse that good at 34.0, I thought was one I wanted to have on side. It just seemed a bit obvious, really, to that sort of price. Okay, done on the arc. Anybody want to say anything else?
Hopefully more Thunder wins the foray.
Yes, I'm with you there. I just think he will. I think he's far too good for them. I think he's an absolute monster. So yeah. I definitely want him on side, Charlie. You can flesh that out a bit, but I know you like the horse.
Yeah, no, I love the horse. I mean, like I said, he's had a fantastic season, and he's a Group 1 winner waiting to happen. And fingers crossed that's on Sunday. I think he's a cut above these, and fingers crossed he stays in training and goes on even more next year.
Yeah, I think he's the best horse in that race, and he sort of reminds me run style of the filly that won that race for fun for whose name I've forgotten. A few starts.
One Nation, is it?
No, it's definitely not. That's three words. One Master, 2 words. I got.
I knew one of them was one.
Yeah, you did, and the other one was Master. But yeah, she used to just come from off it, put her where. He'll just go and win, and I really hope he does. Steve, you've got a couple for us.
Yeah, I just thought the Abbey. I thought JM Jungle had a chance. A horse that is very reliable. He stepped up from handicaps into group races. Won a very good one at Goodwood when Big Mojo, Night Raider, Asphora were all in behind, and it was purely the draw that I thought meant that he finished 6th in the Numthorpe. He was the only one from the stand side to be in the heat of the race and was only beaten 3 lengths by Asphora. And if things work out better this time, then JM Jungle, I think, has got a really good chance for a team that are in great form, John and Sean Quinn. And the other one I liked was a horse we haven't seen much this year in Tamfana. But if you go back to this time last year, she won the Sun Chariot on this weekend on easy ground, which she likes. And she went on to be 3rd behind Charin in the Queen Elizabeth II on Champions Day. Like a lot of David Manwizier horses, she's been out of form this year. We haven't seen her since Newbury in the Lockinge, when, again, the ground was a bit too quick. If there's plenty of rain around in France, like there's suggested there's going to be a fair bit, then I think Tamfana's got a really good chance in the Prix de l'Opera.
Good stuff. Thanks, everyone. Don't forget the money back special, a £5 money back special with those best bets. We've got Prince of India, Fallen Angel, Beautiful Diamond. It's a risk-free treble, so you may as well do that. And use the bonus code POD50 to get 50 quid in free bets. The T's and C's are on the website. Insights.matchbook.com for a recap of all the team's best bets. I hope you have an excellent and profitable weekend. Bye-bye.